Republicans in Nebraska are trying to make a move that would help Donald Trump in the November election. Now, what are they trying to do? Well, most states, except for Nebraska and Maine, have a winner take all policy when it comes to their electoral votes, which means, like here in Iowa, we have 6 votes, and whoever gets the majority of the vote in the popular vote for president for the state of Iowa gets all 6 of those electoral votes. But Nebraska and Maine do it differently. The winner of the state's popular vote for president overall gets the 2 electoral votes for senator that they get because of their 2 senators. And then each congressional district also gets, like, the winner of that district gets their electoral votes separately. So you have a lot of times in Nebraska a situation where the Republican candidate wins the state overall and wins all of the districts except for Omaha. So you end up with a split in the Nebraska Electoral College vote because of the Omaha district going to the Democratic candidate. Well, Republicans want to change that and put the entire state back to winner take all. And they want to do that with less than 7 weeks to go to the general election. But they want to make that change now. And I don't think that's going to matter much in this election. We're talking 1 electoral vote. But that one, if it is close, and I don't think it's going to be a close race, could potentially mean the difference between a statistical tie and, one person winning or the other. Because if you end up in a statistical tie at 269 each, then it goes through Congress, and there's a whole secondary election process with both chambers, the House and the Senate the House selecting the president, Senate voting for the vice president. It becomes a mess. But I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think it's going to be relatively close in the Electoral College. None of the polling, and I don't trust polls, but polling doesn't show that. Fundraising doesn't show it. Support and momentum, all of it. None of it shows that this is going to be a close race except for some of the polls. But either way, I'm not worried about it. The fact is, Republicans want to make this change less than 2 months to go to the election. This isn't the first time they've tried to change something close to an election. Remember back in 2020, after saying in 2016 that February was too close to an election for Barack Obama to appoint a Supreme Court justice. In 2020, with less than 2 weeks to go to the election, Donald Trump got Amy Coney Barrett appointed and through the confirmation process and sworn in and everything onto the Supreme Court. So this is just typical Republicans trying to switch the rules last minute to make things better for their side. But if Democrats were doing this in other states, they'd be screaming foul if it was going to hurt the electoral chances of Donald Trump in other states. It's ridiculous, but it's all they've got at this point.